got to drop a response to this Abba and Preach celibate, so he ghosted her video. Okay, if you guys don't know, I'm personally a fan of Abba and Preach. I like their takes. I think they are reasonable. But we'll see if I still feel this way at the end of this video. So this is a lady. I think this lady's on TikTok. She opens up about being celibate and basically getting ghosted.
Uh-oh.
Okay, now Abba and Preach have some interesting takes here. Let's jump right into it. Go ahead.
Told a guy that I was waiting till marriage. It was our 5th date. We were trying to decide if we wanted to be exclusive or not, expectations and what that would look like. And we talked about my waiting for marriage for about an hour. But he had a lot of
Red flag.
Yeah, red flag. That should just be like a awesome, and then keep it pushing. An hour.
He had a bunch of questions. He had a bunch of questions. Listen, that's all you need to know.
He's like,
Okay, wait. So explain this.
What do you mean by waiting and then for marriage? Are you want to get married or okay?
Okay, so are you saying that we can't?
Or, yeah.
There's an inappropriate Kendrick Lamar song I'm thinking about that I'm not gonna say. That I'm not gonna say right now.
He's like, is it like a Mormon thing? Can we do the?
Do you have special underwear? Okay.
questions. And I was like trying to answer them to the best of my ability and explain where I'm coming from and why it's important to me. He was really nice about it, like just a gentleman, just wanting to understand. And I told him, I know that this is a lot to take in, and I want you to be able to make the best decision for you. So please, take a couple days. Don't think about my emotions. Just think about what you need in a relationship, and give me a call back in a couple days. I've been waiting for the phone call all day, and I'm like I know that it'll be good either way. Like, this is just how it is. Like, if I'm gonna choose to set myself apart in Christ, then this is what dating looks like. But
pause it. So one first, props to her.
Come on.
For setting herself up.
Come on, sis.
In Christ. That is amazing. So we gotta give her props where her props are due.
Yep.
But there's a couple things that were left out. Now, I'm not saying that I know for certain, but there's a couple things that are left out that we have to come back to with regards to this conversation that to me, I wouldn't say are red flags on her part, but are definitely yellow flags.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, red light, yellow light, slow your roll.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to come back to those.
All right.
I'm going to come back to those. Okay. But go ahead and play the rest of this because they have an interesting take here. Go ahead.
It just feels kind of bad to be waiting for his phone call, waiting to see, am I worth dating if I don't have sex? And I'm like, he hasn't called yet, and it's 8 p.m. And so I'm like, well, maybe he's not calling because he'll show up to my place with flowers and tell me that that's not what he was interested
Preach.
Oh man, 8 p.m. It's raining outside. He's not showing up with flowers in person.
Flowers.
God, oh my God, and that's your error right there. I was with you, and then that's your having those expectations and fantasy. That's what's gonna break you. That's what's gonna break your heart. If you think that you should save yourself for the right one, that's on you, boo boo. And if he doesn't want that, it's more about him than you. It's not your word. It's him. That did not align with what he wants. But having he's gonna show up in flowers and. It might happen, and it's great if it happens, but if it doesn't, the deception is going to be grand. But yeah.
Tell me that that's not why he was interested in me, and that he wants to be in a relationship with me either way, and that I'm worth it. But is that unrealistic? I don't know. I think
if he hasn't called you yet,
yeah, it's 8 p.m.
Probably unrealistic. He's going to show up with flowers.
Yeah, that's for sure unrealistic.
I feel bad. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
I just wish that I was worth a big gesture, because right now I don't even know if I'm worth a phone call, and it hurts a little bit. But either way, I'll be fine.
Okay, so I'm gonna come back to their thoughts. So, did you spot? I spy with my little eye a red flag or a yellow flag. Do you spot it?
About 4 yellow flags.
Okay. What's the obvious one? She's having. There's a couple obvious ones, but let me see if you spot one because I got 2 off the top of my head.
2 off the top of my head is if you are dating within a Christian circle. If you want to date as a Christian, we're called to be equally yoked. So you should only be dating Christians. In which the conversation of waiting until marriage should kind of be a given and definitely addressed on the first date.
Exactly. So either
Yeah.
she's dating outside of a healthy pool, which then you're pursuing people you're not equally yoked to. You're not equally. And I'm not trying to be harsh on this young lady because maybe her circumstances are tough. Maybe she's in a small town. Maybe she's not in a great church. Who knows?
Yeah. Right.
This is why I don't mean to be like goated young adults group for stuff like this, but this is, a lot of people end up meeting their spouses in young adults ministries. So one,
Yeah.
it seems like she's dating a non-Christian.
Yes.
So that's already a red flag to me.
Mm-hmm.
A yellow flag at the least, probably a red flag. Why are you dating a non-Christian?
Yes.
And why is this? And what? So that's the first one. Two, why is this not talked about till the fifth date?
Mm-hmm.
So this is me being big bro. Like why? If she was my little sister and she was following Jesus, if she was a girl who was in our young adults ministry and she was telling me this story, I say, well, why are you going on dates with a non-Christian? He clearly has different values than you.
Hello.
Two, why are you waiting until the fifth date to communicate this? Because if you're dating a Christian, this should already be presupposed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And then if it's not presupposed, why are you waiting till the fifth date to explain to him your faith and your values?
Because she wanted to charm him.
Somebody said missionary dating in a chat.
Yeah, she wanted a missionary date, and she wanted to charm him into being like, she's worth it. She even said it in the video. I wish I was big. I was worth a big enough gesture.
Yeah, we want people who are spiritually blind to see realities from a spiritual perspective, but they can't see.
Come on.
This is like being on a New York subway and a blind person bumping into you. And it's crowded and there's a bunch of people around. Someone that's blind bumps into you and you're mad at them for bumping into you.
Yeah.
You're on a crowded New York subway and a blind person bumps into you. They're spiritually blind. They don't see the value of what you're describing.
Come on, somebody.
Which we're going to get into more with some of Preach's and Abba's commentary here and some of the comments that were left. And so, yeah, I'm not saying she's positioning herself this way. So I'm trying to be delicate because she might see this video. But to be fair, sis, you put this out into the world. You threw this on social media. Yeah. Right. And so now it's content because you wanted it to be content. This isn't your private life. You made this content.
That's another lesson.
Huh?
So that's another lesson. That's another possibly lesson, yellow flag. Even.
Yeah. So, yeah. And you kind of make content out of this. But that's neither here nor there. So, yeah, I think she's not a victim in this.
Yeah.
She's not a victim. And so you want this gesture when in reality, should you have even been in this situation to begin with? If you are talking to a Christian dude, how do you avoid this type of Christian dude?
Yeah.
Where did you meet this dude?
Yeah.
If he's claiming to be Christian, but he's trying to smash, that's incongruent. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, the second half of this is some of their commentary that I want to unpack.
Yeah, it's going to restrict the people that are going to be able to accept that. But I mean, you don't want those people according to your faith. That's not what you're really looking for. Rejection stings. It does. Even if it's because of those barriers and those barriers are set by you, when it's like, oh yeah, it's a no for me. That's no. It's still it's a possibility that stings. Because it's more about him, not in a bad way. Just like, oh, it's about him. That rejection is about him. He does not align with what you want. Move on. It might be harder to find your match and find someone that's gonna align with that. Do you have to change your faith or how you see this because of that? That's how you feel. But I gotta be real with you. It might be a little bit harder. But I'm trying to be nice here.
Preach is actually being very delicate.
Yeah.
But we know that Preach and Abba think this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like it's cool for them.
Yeah.
It's cool for you if you want to wait until marriage, but they from their worldview, because they're not followers of Jesus, this is ridiculous. Right?
Yeah.
So he's trying to be delicate, and then he kind of shows his hand a little bit more. Go ahead.
It's gonna be hard as
Now, does it have to be hard as F?
I don't think so. I mean,
here's the thing. And maybe, again, I will concede, I can see this over and over. Maybe it's selection bias on my part. We're near two booming young adults groups.
Come on, somebody.
Both within a 15-minute driving distance of me. North Coast Young Adults, the J, and the Young Adults group at Rhythm, YA. Both Young Adults group have plenty of 18 to 30-year-old single people. Plenty of good-looking guys, good-looking gals that love Jesus, are stable, working careers, or if they're not stable and they have trauma, they're working through their trauma.
Come on.
Right? There's at least 100 people in each group, probably 200, 300 at the North Coast one.
They even have singles community groups.
They even have singles communities. But I'm not even talking about singles community group. I'm just talking like you're a young adult.
Yeah.
You're trying to enter your You're trying to get married.
Yeah.
Here's somewhere obvious you can hang out with people, or maybe they're not going to be like all the way on fire for the Lord, but at least they're closer. So does it have to be hard? Well, yeah, if you're dating people at bars and you're hooking up on random apps, yes, that is going to be hard as F, as Preach pointed out.
Yeah.
But does it have to be hard? Not if your community and your circle of people is different.
Yeah. No, I can preach.
I think it just means that you have to search appropriately, right?
It's a challenge.
Shout
Search
out
appropriately.
Shout out
Come
to
on.
Abba.
This man said you're in the wrong spaces.
You're in the wrong spaces.
So it's one of those situations where it's like if you want to,
You got to go on Christian mingle.
you want to meet a
Yes.
Jewish boy.
Yes. Yes. Stop dating people that don't share your values.
Come on.
Why would you date someone that doesn't share your values? They don't. They're not only do they not value what you value, but they're by proxy not going to value you. This isn't that deep. This ain't rocket science, fam. It's like, hey man, I went to an all-you-can-eat hometown buffet, and I was shocked that I couldn't find anyone that valued fitness.
That's good.
Because you're the all-you-can-eat hometown buffet. It's not even just the buffet. It's the all-you-can-eat hometown buffet. So, like, the food quality isn't even good. It's not like you're, like, at a sushi buffet or at a teriyaki buffet. You're at a hometown buffet. It's, like, literally the worst of the worst. And you're like, I wonder why no one here is in great shape. I wonder why no one here is within a healthy BMI. Where are you right now?
Come on.
They don't value what you value, so therefore, they're not going to value you.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying this is what that young lady is doing. I'm just saying this is my common sense brain.
Yeah. If we had to read between the lines.
If we have to read between the lines. Okay, go ahead.
Might have to date a Jewish boy. You know,
Jewish mingle.
I think it makes no sense to date someone who's not Jewish and then,
Expect
hope
that
you
from
get
them?
something.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So, I'd have to ask, like, what's this guy's faith level? Is
Right.
he anywhere near you? I think 5 dates to spring that on somebody's a bit long. I think we should probably mention that pretty early on.
I mean, this man, I'm glad we're all on the same page here.
We're all on the same page here. Go ahead.
Especially if it's something that's important to you. Most people I've known who were into that tell you on the first or second date.
Come on.
Especially when things about faith happen,
That's
for
right.
me, marriage is really important.
Yes.
I want to wait till marriage.
Yes.
5 dates a bit much, in my opinion.
Come on.
Come on.
He's cooking.
Buddy. Okay, I'm glad we're not the crazy ones.
Yeah, well, we're the crazy Christian guys that are like, go ahead.
5 days is a bit much.
Especially if you're talking in between, like that should have come up a while back. But I'm not gonna get on you too much for that.
Well, she's
Hold on. Shout out to Kelly P. A woman said this, so you can't say I'm being sexist. Can't say I'm being sexist. One of our woman mods. She's
on.
married with kids. God
on.
bless her. She said she's playing with fire. The one, a black woman said that. Don't come for me, trying to cancel me. A black woman said you're playing with fire.
Yeah. Hello.
Go ahead.
I can't.
super young, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Relatively.
Good experience.
Also, the whole thing about sex, like, she said,
Is Golden Corral now.
Ooh, yeah, that's a bad
Don't
one.
be going to Golden Corral wondering why there's no one in there with abs.
Yeah, that's a bad one.
It's all senior citizens and people who are diabetic.
Oh, man.
Why? You're at a Golden Corral on a Tuesday afternoon for lunch.
Yeah, they don't care about quality food. They just care about how much food they can get on their plate.
one thing is like, am I not worth waiting for? It's not about that for everyone. Some people, they're impatient. They just want to have sex. Some people have bad intentions. They just want to sleep with you and disappear. But also for some folks, it's like the idea of waiting till marriage is like, what if we're sexually incompatible and now we're till death do us part? For some folks, they don't want to take that risk.
So this is where I would disagree. And interestingly enough, Abba corrects himself right after. So the whole sexually incompatible thing, I think, is just complete nonsense. Like, first of all, you can only know you're not sexually incompatible if you're looking at a lot of porn or if you've been with a lot of people.
Come on.
Normal people, because I say this is normal.
Yeah.
This is what actually normal is you find someone and you build compatibility with them. You
hello.
build a rhythm with them. You figure each other. You learn what you like in intimacy.
Come on.
So this whole idea of like incompatible is like you've either just warped your brain with porn or you've warped your brain with hookup culture.
And you might be like, but you're overblowing it. I'm telling you right now, there's plenty of people who are married to somebody and they have zero sexual chemistry. And for some folks, it's a little bit important to have that kind of.
You work on that. If
Yeah.
you work on that. You work that out.
Yeah.
Right?
You don't just give up.
You don't just give up. It's like, I'm in this marriage and there's no compatibility, so I'm gonna leave.
It's the whole point of marriage is that you do it forever.
Till death do us part.
Yeah. So you're like, you gotta figure out everything. You gotta
What
figure
about
out
what about when you have kids in marriage and then you can't have any intimacy
Yeah.
for 6, 8,
Yeah.
12, 15 weeks? What do you do then?
Yeah.
What do you do then? Oh, you don't got no compatibility. Or she just pushed out a human.
Hello.
She pushed out a human. There's all kinds of hormonal changes. There's all kinds of, who knows what's happening postpartum. She's working through stuff. She's not trying to, Right? So what? Oh, there's no compatibility. Well, or she could have just had 3rd-degree lacerations on her on the inside of her vagina. Oh, okay.
You made me pass out.
Intimacy that they really enjoy and they really like. Other folks, it's not the case. So I'm not just saying like, religious people have less fulfilling sex marriage. I think that's not true. I think a lot of them self-report that they are happier. But for
a lot of them self-report that they are happier.
My
man Abba paid attention to the data. In case you didn't know, the most sexually fulfilled people in marriage, yes, self-reported data. Fair enough. Maybe we're all lying. Maybe we're all just lying and making it up. But the data is the data. Self-reported, the most sexually fulfilled people are practicing Christians who attend church regularly.
Come on.
So there's something there. So we're either liars or we're delusional. Or there's something to delaying gratification until you're in a one-man, one-woman marriage for one lifetime.
Who's going to share your values? And at that point, I think a lot of this stuff is going to make a lot more sense. It sounds like you guys just weren't aligned both on a faith standpoint and maybe also your intensity of faith or how much you would hear. Some people got certain levels of Christianity, others are not open to certain things.
I think this is where we would differ. If you're following Jesus and you're waving the banner of Christian, it should be presupposed that you're
either doing it right or doing it wrong.
It's either or.
Either hold to the filioque.
And I'm not saying that people stop. And I'm not saying there aren't Christians who may struggle. There aren't Christians that like fall head over heels in love and then struggle with purity after they start dating. They're moving towards marriage, but it's really hard. They didn't really think about boundaries. They didn't think about a fast-tracked engagement process, right? That aren't struggling with remaining celibate, right? But generally, if you're following Jesus, you've came to the conclusion that you are holding to these values.
Yeah.
So that's something that you have to establish with that person, especially if faith is important to you. Like I for the life of me, don't understand people who have like a very strong faith background and then start talking to people who don't share the same faith as them and then know it's a conflict. It's like, yo, sort that out.
Come on.
Crazy.
Because
go ahead.
They really think it's a norm. And that's what they
So he said they really think it's a norm. They really think it's a norm. So this is a good point. This is a good and a bad point by Preach here.
What they believe in is the truth, and it's a norm, and everybody should, like, it's common sense. They treat it like common sense. I was in a religion, I'm not, and when I speak to those people, still again, they're talking to people that are outside of the religion, like if it's just a normal, it's like, yeah, you're supposed to. That's just the standard. And you're like, but that's not my standard. That's yours. Yeah, but it's the good thing to do. I'm like, wait, you're treating this thing like it's universal law, their algorithm. Mm-hmm. And they're looking at their faith like it's a normal standard, like this their algorithm, because they're surrounded with that. And when they see someone that touches grass, they're like, why are you not aware of that? Yeah, you are in that algorithm. That is your standard of no eggs before marriage and stuff like that. That's not all the rest of us.
I don't know.
So here's where I would push back. So one, I would challenge preachers to say, why is it unreasonable to wait until marriage? Mm-hmm. He would say, well, because you need to find sexual chemistry. Well, because that's you know, we're different out here. Okay, cool. Now let's think about what has sexual liberation led to. Has it led to more fulfillment or less fulfillment? Has it led to more flourishing or less flourishing? Mm-hmm. Has it led to women feeling more confident and having less mental health issues or more mental health issues? Now, let's think through this for a second. So let's view Khan's views of ethics. What if everyone waited until marriage to be intimate? All of this hookup culture, all of this, we're friends with benefits, all of this, hey, I meet someone, a couple dates in, we smash, we may or may not be in a relationship. Now spread that out over half a decade. Now you're probably entering double digits of partners. And now what do we know? We know that the more partners you have, the harder it is pair bond once you get into a serious relationship. What does that mean? That means once you get into a serious relationship, you're going to be less likely to be sexually satisfied. So what would happen if everyone did just wait?
Yeah.
What would happen? Well, we would probably have way less kids outside of marriage. Mm-hmm. Strong correlation between fathers being in the household and kids' health. We would probably have way less STDs and STIs. The baby deletion rates would fall off a cliff. So I understand preaching saying, yeah, the rest of us are out here, but y'all are crazy. It's like, I understand how preposterous it sounds to say everyone should wait until marriage, even if you're not a Christian. It's actually in your best interest, which, by the way, most of God's ways are in your best interest. So with the world, this is something Preaching Abba and every non-Christian gets to wrestle with. Would the world be a better place if everyone waited until marriage, until they were intimate? It's a very basic question. Sex is great. Sex is a beautiful thing. Sex is intended to bond you. Sex helps with mitigating some of the day-to-day stress of what it's like to have a family and raise kids and work a job and all that sort of stuff. So there's a lot of utility to sex. It's amazing. It's the way we usher in human life into the world. It's it's what leads. By the way, not all other species usher in additional species through intimacy and pleasure. Sometimes they just be laying eggs and bouncing, and you know what I mean? So we're wired in such a way where it's one of the most amazing things, but it's also a dangerous thing. And so would the world be better if everyone adhered to this value? I think absolutely. I think anyone that's reasonable would say yes. It's reasonable to say the world would be better. Now, is it hard? Yeah, it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is hard. It is hard. It is countercultural, but many things that are countercultural end up being correct. There's a lot of things that when the smartphone came out, people thought it was the coolest thing ever, handing their kids iPads and tablets and devices. Now what do we discover? Oh, this stuff's actually wildly terrible for your brain.
Hello.
So now the countercultural position is actually the position of all the people who had the devices that didn't give them to the people that designed the devices don't give them to their kids.
Come on.
So the countercultural position to the device was actually the correct one.
True.
There's all kinds of stuff. I could give you example after example after example. Hey, how about the example of strength training? That sounds insane. I'm going to put my body through vigorous exercise and tear my muscles apart and feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So that I could become stronger and live longer. That sounds counterintuitive. And yet all the data suggests that people who strength train end up having better quality of life and longer life. Right? And so I could give you food. Go back to our Golden Corral example. Yeah. Fast food, right? Yeah. Hey, it's better to cook your food, to meal prep your food, to eat whole foods. But man, it's so convenient. The chips are so convenient. The fast food is so convenient. Yes, it's countercultural, but it's not unreasonable. It's not unreasonable to say, hey, you probably should avoid fast food. You probably should avoid processed food. So that's the thing is often the countercultural thing that seems unreasonable ends up being the thing that's correct. And I think this would be no different with this specific situation. So I wanted to point out one of the comments they pinned. Someone said, long story short, she found out the guy only wanted her for sex and wasn't serious about getting to know her as a person. The end. Now, their response was pretty funny. It says, is there no middle ground between not wanting to wait till marriage and wanting for someone for just sex? Her waiting till marriage is correct and must be respected, but him wanting to make love to his partner before the 3-year mark is wrong and must not be respected. He must compromise. She must not. Maybe it's not that I wanted her just for sex. He realized they were incompatible. No clue why there has to be a villain in every situation. Yeah, I don't think there has to be a quote unquote villain. I think everybody's wrong in this situation. But I think this idea that I want to have sex on the 3rd date or on the 5th date or at 5 months or at 6 months in a relationship. Again, what does that lead to? That leads to more people with more body counts, and more body counts leads to less pleasure and higher rates of all the things we don't like about society, STDs, STIs, kids out of wedlock, right? All these things. And so it's like to act like this is some unreasonable standard that God has for us, I think it's silly. I think it's really silly.
I agree.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I want to hear from you guys though. Like, why is this unreasonable? And do you guys see that, perhaps she went a little too deep into the situation without properly thinking it through? I would love to hear from you guys. And again, shout out to Abba Preach. I think they had a really interesting take on this. Is a really interesting conversation. I'm glad that these conversations are happening. And I'm glad that these conversations are happening on secular platforms. For those of you Christians that want to do all this missionary dating and I don't want to meet anybody in church because I want a bad boy or whatever weird motives are underneath there, right? Like, I don't want to date a Christian man because Christian men are fill in the blank.
Yep.
Right? What is that? Like, let's unpack that. Let's get to the root of that because I think that will, like Kelly P., our black woman moderator said, will lead you to be playing with fire.
Yeah.
You're playing with fire and then you're wondering why. And so, and again, and this young lady, I'm sure she's sweet. I'm sure she's awesome, but you also made this content. And I think she probably wanted this conversation to be had. So anyway, let me know what you guys think. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end. If you liked it, then hit the like button. If you liked it a lot and have a thought to share, leave a comment. If you are listening to this on the podcast app, make sure to leave a review and you could even leave a comment over there. And if you want to watch another video that is recommended just for you, hit this video over here. Let me know if they nailed it. Also, you can partner with us monthly, which helps us out a lot in our monthly community, get access to early drops and all that kind of good stuff. over here. All right, I'll see you over there. Peace.